We are so reading from Nectar of Devotion. This is chapter entitled Expression of Love for Krishna. And the mark just fell out, so I'm just going to read the previous subsection. This is pride. Expression of ecstatic love in pride may be the result of excessive wealth, exquisite beauty, a first-class residence, or attainment of one's ideal goal. One is also considered proud when he does not care about the neglect of others. Biomanga Thakur said, "My dear Krishna, you are leaving me forcibly getting out of my clutches, but I shall be impressed by your strength only when you can go forcibly from the core of my heart." This is an instance of feeling pride in ecstatic love for Krishna. Once during the Rasa dance, when Radharani left the arena and Krishna went to seek her out, one of the dear friends of Radharani addressed Krishna thus, "My dear Krishna, you have been very much obliging in serving the form of our Sri Radharani, and now you have left all the other gopis to search for her. Please allow me to inquire how you want her to treat you." This is an instance of feeling pride on account of exquisite beauty. Sometimes Radharani felt pride within herself and said, "Although the cowherd boys prepare nice flower garlands for Krishna, when I present my garland to him, he becomes struck with wonder and immediately accepts it and puts it on his heart." Similarly, in the 10th canto, 2nd chapter, verse 33 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma says, "My dear Madhusudana, persons who are pure devotees of your worship actually feel your ecstatic friendship, and as such they are never vanquished by enemies. They know that they are always protected by you, and so they can, matter of facility, pass over the heads of their enemies without any care. In other words, one who has taken complete shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord is always proud of being able to conquer all enemies." One weaver at Mathura addressed Krishna in this way, "My dear King of Vrindavan, I have become so proud of your causeless mercy upon me that I do not even count upon the mercy of the Lord of Vaikuntha, which is sought after many great sages in deep meditation." In other words, although the yogis and great sages sit in meditation upon Lord Vishnu, who is residing in Vaikuntha, a devotee of Krishna is so proud that he does not consider such a meditation to be very valuable. This feeling of pride is due to one's having achieved the highest goal of life, Krishna. Nectar of Devotion ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Canto 8, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 3, Text 13, entitled Gajendra's Prayers of Surrender. This is text 13. Kshetra Gnakyaya Namas Tubhyam Kshetra Gyana Namas Tubhyam Sarvadhyakshaya Shakshine Sarvadhyakshaya Shakshine Purushayatma Mulaya Purushayatma Mulaya Mula Prakrityaye Namaha. Mula Prakrityaye Namaha. Kshetragyana Namastubhyam Sarvajakshaya Shakshine Purushayatma Mulaya Mula Prakrityaye Namaha. Kshetragyaya Namastubhyam Sarvajakshaya Shakshine Purushayatma Mulaya Mula Prakrityaye Namaha. Kshetragyana Namastubhyam Sarvajakshaya Shakshine Purushayatma Mulaya Mula Prakrityaye Namaha. Kshetragaya Namastubhyam Sarvajakshaya Shakshine Purushayatma Mulaya Mula Prakrityaye Namaha. Kshetragaya Namastubhyam Sarvajakshaya Shakshine Purushatma Mulaya Mula Prakrityaye Namaha. Kshetragaya Namastubhyam Sarvajakshaya Shakshine Purushayatma Mulaya Mula Prakrityaye Namaha. Kshetragaya, unto the one who knows everything of the external body. Namaha, I offer my respectful obeisances. Tubhyam, unto you. Sarva, everything. Adhyakshaya, who are superintending, managing. Shakshine, who are the witness. Paramatma, or Antaryami. Purushaya, the Supreme Person. Atmamulaya, who are the original source of everything. Mula Prakritaye, unto the Purusha avatar. The origin of Prakriti and Pradhana. Namaha, I offer my respectful obeisance. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Ace and Bhakta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I beg to offer my respectful obeisance unto you, who are the super soul, the superintendent of everything, and the witness of all that occurs. You are the Supreme Person, the origin of material nature and the total material energy. You are also the owner of the material body. Therefore, you are the Supreme Complete. I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 13.3, the word says, Kshetragya chapi mam vidi sarva kshetreshu bharata. O Scion of Bharat, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. Every one of us is thinking, I am this body, or this is my body, but actually the truth is different. All bodies are given to us by the Supreme Proprietor, the living entity who is also Kshetragya, or the knower of the body is not the body's only proprietor. The actual proprietor of the body is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Kshatragya. For example, we may rent and occupy a house, but actually the owner of the house is the landlord. Similarly, we may be allotted a certain type of body as a facility with which to enjoy this material world. But the actual proprietor of the body is the Supreme Personality in Godhead. He is called Sarvadaksha, because everything in the material world works under his supervision. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10, wherein the Lord says, Maya yakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. This material nature, walking under my direction, O son of Kunti, is producing all moving and non-moving beings. From Prakriti, or material nature, comes so many varieties of living entities, including aquatics, plants, trees, insects, birds, and animals, human beings, and demigods. Prakriti is the mother, and the supreme personal Godhead is the father. Aham bija prada pita. Prakriti can give us material bodies, but as spirit souls, we are parts and parcels of the Supreme Person of the Godhead. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Mama sho jiva loke jiva bhutana sanatana. The living entity, being part and parcel of God, is not a product of this material world. Therefore, the Lord is described in this verse as Atma Mula, the original source of everything. He is the seed of all existence, Bijamam Sarva Bhutanam. In Bhagavad Gita 14.4, the Lord says, Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya Bhutaya Sammavantiya Tasham Prama Mahat Yoni Aham Bija Prada Pitha. It should be understood that all living entities in all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Plants, trees, insects, aquatics, the demigods, beasts, birds, and all other living entities are sons, parts, and parcels of the Supreme One. But because they are struggling with different mentalities, they have been given different types of bodies. Manaha sastani nandriyani prakriti stani karashati. Thus they have become sons of Prakriti, or material nature, which is impregnated with the Supreme Person of Godhead. Every living entity in this material world is struggling for existence, and the only salvation or relief from the cycle of birth, and that is the evolutionary process in the evolutionary process is full surrender. This is indicated by the word Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Urimitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishnam Shnapitanyena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kanamayam Tadanti Swam Padantikam Panchakalpatruvesha Kripa Sindhu Cha Paditanam Pavadevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatate Shadarine. Hare Krishna. So we continue going through the prayers of Gajendra, and this particular verse, he's approaching Supreme Person of Godhead, and he talks about how Krishna is a proprietor of everything that exists. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ham sarvasya prabho patha sarvam parvartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. I'm the source of all the material and the spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. And the ones who perfectly know this worship me with all their hearts. So here as well, Gajendra confirms that that Krishna is actually the source of everything, even this material body that we have, and everything we see around us is actually Krishna's energy. So, because we are illusion, because we are covered by this illusionary energy, we get this sense that actually we own something. That we, this is my daughter here, or this is my whatever, my phone here, and we get attached to these things, and this leads into this entangles us very much deeply into the material energy, which is very undesirable. And Krishna himself, he doesn't like to see parts and parcels of him to be entangled in this material energy and suffer birth after birth. So the King of Heaven's Gajendra says that not only all these material things we see around ourselves, also the body itself is the property of Krishna, but also Krishna is witness in everyone's heart. So he knows what's going on at every moment. So but after this prayer, we should ask what's the if this body is not my property, or this body is not for my own sense enjoyment, then what it should be used for. So as we can see, these days it's all about sense enjoyment. How to be happy, how to be comfortable situated, how to how to basically attain eternity by being in this body, right? So we're seeking a safety, seeking a shelter in material things such as society, friends, family, different material possessions, and it gives this a little bit this sense of safety and kind of satisfaction, but it's very short-lived. If you get a new car, maybe very excited after a week or two, and it's not going to be that nice anymore. So we should see that, and Krishna also confirms this in Bhagavad Gita, right? That he says, "Matra spashas tu kaunteya shiktoshna sukadukena agama parinonitas tapsatik samavaparta," right? That all these happiness and distress, they come and go, just like the summer and winter seasons. So one who knows this, one who is aware of this, should learn how to tolerate these. So we are seeking pleasure in this world, but actually we should see that because we can recognize this. We should recognize this duality in this material world, and understand that it's not going to lead anywhere good. So, and Gender here nicely puts that that not only shelter is really Krishna here, and even if we recognize that this material world is full of miseries, we can get just by our endeavor out of this place. We need endeavor, and we also need the mercy of Krishna. Just like we have now month of Kartik, in the same way, for Mother Yashoda to bind Krishna, she gave the best she could do. But then there's still one thing missing, was Krishna's mercy. She couldn't tie the Krishna. There was always 2 inches short, which is on endeavor and the Krishna's mercy. So these things should be there, present. So as a devotees, the way we should approach things is that whenever we perform service or whenever we deal with anything, we should act in a way that is fully dependent on us. But then we should pray that it's actually all under the control of Krishna. So we should give our best endeavor, best shot, and at the same time pray that everything comes out successful to Krishna, right? So Prabhupada quotes a lot of verses from Bhagavad Gita. And yeah, so and this talks about how the material nature is like a mother, and himself Krishna is like a seed-giving father. So and it's explained also between conversation between Krishna and Brahma in second canto, where these four seed verses of Bhagavatam, where Krishna explains that before this material creation, I was always existing, Krishna. So and after its maintenance and annihilation, Krishna will always be existent. So before the creation of material energy, Krishna was always present, and we can see same as ourselves, we are also parts and parcel of Krishna, but due to this arrangement, this desire that we want to enjoy separately, material nature was created so we can enjoy it separately from Krishna. Although Krishna is always present, so because he's always caring about us, right? So it's same as like Shishikanta my Purusha Shiki. So in the same way as parents may leave their kids in a playing ground for some time to play around, the parents are always kind of looking, always anxious, just in case something happens. And same way, Krishna is always looking after us. He wants the best for us. So, but because of our ignorance or desire to enjoy, we have taken this material body, which we also claim to be ours, which is just another layer of illusion, right? And these days we like to put, we already in illusion, but as you can see, because it's sometimes this material body is so difficult to withstand, we sometimes put ourselves in another layer of illusion. So this is another layers of illusion that we go in, and we are very blessed that we have this opportunity to come to temple and chant the holy name and read Bhagavatam, because as Lord Chaitanya said, Chetodarpanamarjanam Bhavamaha Navagninilapmanam Shayakaya Chandika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Ananda Divadanam Pratipadam Punam Svananam Savatmasmapanam Panam Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan. So this Sankirtan movement, it cleanses the mirror of the heart gradually to the point where we start to recognize who we are, where do we belong, that we actually should be going back to Krishna, not just wander here all the time. So, we are just like the sons and daughters of a rich person wandering on the streets, looking for some money or something like that. But actually, we just have to remember that we actually we are the sons and daughters of the most richest person there is, and we should just go back, stop wasting our time here. So yeah, we are very, very blessed. We have this opportunity to chant. This is as it describes the best process of cleansing the heart and reviving our constitutional position. So Prabhupada also he kind of touched the point where, because this body is not ours, it's, if I remember, in Life Comes From Life, Prabhupada talks about how this body is like a flat, and it's like a flat that we rent. And also he mentions here in the purport that we might be temporary occupiers of the flat, but we are not the owners. The landlord is the owner. So in the same way, our body is already hosting a lot of different smaller entities, like but that we are not aware of. So when naturally when we leave this body, then these little smaller entities like bacteria and things like that, they're still going to be present there. So same as like in a fat, when you leave the fat, there might be some spiders or mice, right, still living there, right? So the body is not ours. We are just a temporary proprietors, right? So we shouldn't even get too attached. That we understand that this is just a small part of the whole bigger journey. And so we have nicely managed to get this human form, and we should try to use the full potential of it, because in the animal lifetime, animal form and plant life, we don't get this opportunity to question things. What did it say? Brahma Jignasha, right? So you obtain this human life form. Now inquire. You have this opportunity. Ask questions and try and find what is the purpose of life. Yeah. Any questions and comments so far? Yes, Mats.
So how do we balance, because this body we see it as Krishna's property, so we're supposed to look after it for Krishna, Krishna, but at the same time, how much can, at the same time we have to make so much effort to get Krishna's mercy. So it's like, how do we know which is unlimited, how do we can look after the body at the same time, do our best and make the most effort that we can.
So Krishna says in Bhagavatam, one who is sleeping too or eating too much or too little cannot be a perfect yogi. So there's definitely have to be balance between and taking rest and taking prasad and kind of like looking after the body. Because myself personally, I'm at a level where we can full on 24 hours we always engaged engaging that being that Krishna, that right consciousness, because it kind of like it's a gradual process. As we still practicing, we get more taste, and as we get more taste, same as the six Goswami state, just forgot to sleep and eat because they were so engaged. And when you're so engaged, then Krishna naturally he takes care of these things. But because we are not at that level, we should be careful with not to just go full on, because we might not be that surrendered as we think maybe we are. So it's a gradual process, and So from my personal experience, there is this desire to do I would like to surrender just now, but it doesn't happen, There's some attachment there, and so basically I have to work on it. So I have to step back. So same as maybe I want to straight away maybe understand the high university mathematics, but I just have to take steps. It's like we have this potential to understand these things. Same as Prabhupada said in Life Comes from Life, he was saying that he was pointing to this surfing guy, and he was saying that everyone has this potential to be like him. So everyone has this human form, and we can have this sort of potential of do different things. And the same way Prabhupada kind of draw these parallels where he said that we all of us have this potential to become pure devotees, and so it's we should but by association we can get kind of like, when we ourselves, we may judge situation, but when we get also like maybe advice from an association of cause devotees, then we can also get idea like how much we can push, right? So because personally, most of the times, I would like to just come sit down for japa and chant nice rounds, but it just doesn't happen. I have to stand up, walk, because I have to deal with the modes, right? I have to deal with mood of ignorance, and so it takes some time. It's kind of like trying to find a way. What is our current level, and then try to work with that. Yeah, is that okay? Yeah, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Prabhu, for some thoughtful things. You talked a few times about purification of the heart and the body. And I was just reading this morning about piety and sin. And it was coming up this thing of mundane morality, which is something that's come up quite a few times. So I'm just wondering, as we get purified, become more into the mode of goodness, how do we avoid getting involved with mundane morality, and how do we avoid getting involved with philanthropic work? Because it can feel like it might be quite natural, trying to help people and getting distracted from spiritual aspects.
Thank you. Good question. Yeah. I guess what I can say from our experience, when it's like when you join for the maybe Krishna consciousness, start any spiritual journey or join Krishna consciousness, then we have this idea that it's maybe not the right idea how to maybe help, or because we have this desire to help, but maybe we're getting the wrong idea of what is the best way to help. So as you said, these days, we organize in different charities, different projects, in order to just simply save the cause of the person, not the person itself. So it's only like a temporary relief, but it doesn't give everlasting happiness. It doesn't help us to attain our spiritual nature, which is always blissful and full of knowledge and eternal, right? So yes, so at the beginning stages, we don't have this discrimination where we kind of like Kanishna, right? So he sees kind of like everyone kind of like equally, it doesn't discriminate much. Or he sees Krishna only in temple. So, but as we progress, we start to understand, where are we and where everyone else is. And then we kind of like respect everyone, give respect to everyone, as we see what the level everyone is, and then we can. This discrimination is kind of important. Like sometimes, because these days all around the world, we talk about, everyone's one, everyone's all love. We should love each other, right? But it's not that simple. It's not as simple. It is. As we grow, we start to understand that we start to have to put aside these kind of like seemingly good things for the better cause, right? Which is actually try to bring everyone back to Krishna, back to Godhead, right? Because the devotees are the most merciful ones. They cannot withstand seeing everyone suffering, right? And that might it requires some discriminations in order to understand what is the right action. But I think it's part of the journey. Yeah, as you go from Kanishna to Nishna, and then further on, then you naturally develop this. I cannot say from experience, but what I've read, you develop this this stability and kind of like this vision where you can see what's the right thing to do. And there may be some either you would like to help someone. It's maybe not that necessary, or it can be done somewhat differently, or and sometimes, oftentimes, when we want to do these philanthropic activities, these charities, then it's sometimes actually it might be not completely about helping others. It might be something about like mixed motives, about putting yourselves in a good position or gaining something out of it. So it's very very much mixed, So, but so charity can be in a mood of ignorance, mood of passion, and mood of goodness. So for example, I remember for the book distribution marathon, as the charity in a mood of ignorance is when you see maybe some drunkard in the street and he asks for money, and obviously he's going to spend the money for buying liquor. So we saw that someone gave £10, and then literally after a few minutes he came with the bottle outside from the shop. So, and in the mood of passion, the charity is when we want to help people. It's in a good way, building schools, hospitals, which is a good thing, because we should get to the platform where we can actually perform spiritual activities. We have to, the living condition should be at some sort of minimum, where we can, we don't have to think too much about, how to maintain these things, how to get, always think about how to get money, right? So we need to get some platform of, material stability, which is good, charity in mood of passion is kind of good for that. But then charity in mood of goodness is just, deeper understanding, we are actually part and parcel of Krishna. How can we get back to, how can we get connected back to Krishna again? We always connected with Krishna, but how can we revive that consciousness? So, but yeah, it's a process, should associating with, someone who has that vision, that discrimination, and sometimes, there might be some collision between someone maybe with a mundane perception and someone who has this spiritual vision, and there might be that conflict because someone with mundane understanding, they think, why are we not helping these people? We should be helping them, right? But whereas someone who has this spiritual vision would say that, well, we can do something else here, So yeah, it requires, Krishna says, when you approach a spiritual teacher, one who is self-realized, Tadvidi Panipani Paripashana Sevaya Upadakshanta Gyanam Gyanis Dashina. So we should approach a spiritual teacher with submissive, try to serve him and surrender service to him, because these spiritual devotees, they have seen the truth, and then when they're pleased, they will also depart this knowledge to us, this understanding. So yeah, association, and then also chanting and reading. So yeah, is that okay? I think so. Yes,
on that subject, it says if you can spot it, means you've got it. So sometimes we're trying to point something out to somebody, but we're doing it in a way where we're disturbed because we've got the same anartha that person has, and that's why we're so upset about it. Whereas there could be other people in the room and they're not that bothered, because they don't have the same anartha. And what was the question again?
I was asking about mundane morality and philanthropic work. How as we become purified and more in the mode of goodness, how do we avoid going towards this direction? Because as we become more better people, we have this tendency to want to help people, and maybe try to develop the proper discrimination or whatever it is. So.
In the pastime with Maharaj Yudhisthira, he had the chariot that he was on was off the ground, and then it came onto the ground because it was when he said the elephant, as they said Ashvatthama, then under his breath he said the elephant is dead. And because he said the elephant, because he had some attachment to mundane morality, then the chariot came down onto the ground. So the whole Bhagavad Gita is Krishna brushing aside mundane morality and saying, okay, this is the plan, this is the program, these are all dead. Do you want to help, or am I going to do it myself? Basically, you know. So the mundane morality is kind of I'm the doer, I'm going to go and do this good thing now, I'm going to avoid doing this bad thing now, rather than, well, what does Krishna want, and how can I cooperate with the plan, you know? His name will be spread to every town and village, that's going to happen. So how am I going to facilitate that, you know?
Yeah, I was reading this morning the 11th canto, Uddhava was requesting Krishna to give some examples of this, like, you know, of piety and sin. And if I remember in the purports, it was saying that sin means to do whatever doesn't please Krishna, and piety means to do whatever does please Krishna.
Yeah, it's a Latin word. Sin means to separate oneself from God.
Mm. Jai. Thank you.
And it's really nice, actually, if you're going to get into learning slokas and you're not sure which ones to learn, just learn the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And there's so many nice verses. Apanasham sitam gauram yannama bhavishogrinam tata. I did know it, and now I've half forgotten it and half remembered it. But he says, living beings are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death, can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is feared by fear personified. And Shiv Ramanuj explains in his book, Chant More, that unconsciously means chanting without faith. Not that he's inattentive, but he's chanting, but he doesn't have much faith in it, you know. So the more that we have faith in the holy name, the more we can cut ourselves free and cut others free also. So that's, I suppose you could say that's transcendental morality, as opposed to let me put an elastoplast on his saw and give him a pat in the back and give him 50 quid, which is like a mundane way of trying to help somebody. So before we can help anyone, we have to help ourselves as well. Prabhupada said the highest principle is to save yourself. So if you're in a hospital and everyone's sick, and then you start getting sick, you're going to be of no use. The doctor has to go and get healthy, and then he can come in and start helping people.
Jai.
Kantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Bhakta Reinis ki jai.